Hello and welcome to BTD6 Boss Rush Island 5 Guide. Today we'll be using Sauda as our hero. Place her right here on first targeting. I know that's pretty rare, but it helps out with the leaks instead of strong targeting, which usually helps against the boss. I do this on mobile because it's a pretty, tedious boss, and I figure if I do it on mobile, it'll help encourage y'all that it's okay. You can handle the button mashing, or if you're a mobile player, it helps you out too. I placed down my 2 farmers as well. These actually are needed, so the tech bot you can do by hand. I've done it before, it was fine, but the farmers I really do recommend. And then start off with a 0-1-3 Druid of Wrath. Pretty much, we're just going to be spamming these guys down. You want to do approximately how many I do, but mostly look at the number of skulls popped, right? So here we get up a second and a third one, but later on we were placing like 25 of these guys, and trying to keep track of the number of them isn't really helpful. You know, you want to be doing things more based off of vibes. So here we go for number 4 and number 5. And these are super cheap and really impressively high damage. It's actually even more powerful than the Moab Mauler, even on single target damage without the embrittlement, which is stupid. But once we have 5 of them, we are going to get down the embrittlement. This is going to be a 4-1-0. I recently learned that the 4-2-0 is not worth buying, so I guess lesson learned. And now because we are leaking, I'm going to go for a 0-0-4 balloon trap and then upgrade it to a 2-0-4 balloon trap. If you feel like you're leaking more, maybe your placements are slower or whatever, then you can just place less druids. So you can do 4 druids embrittlement, then balloon trap, or you can do 5 druids, balloon trap, embrittlement, alright, something like that. Anyways, here we go down and we place another, looks like 4 druids, and then I decide, alright, we're at 20 skulls, we should really get a second balloon trap, otherwise we'll be leaking again. And so it's going to, again, 0-0-4, and then 2-0-4 for the faster engineering. And here, because now candle balloons are coming in and we're already pretty low, we're just going to immediately get up a cleansing foam. If you want to, technically you can leak a little bit more lives, as lives leaked does give more attack speed to the druids, but that attack speed really doesn't matter that much. It will help you get a couple more pops, but I'd rather just stay alive. In my testing, I did have a couple of runs where I died, not very often, but I would die and I would get 80 skulls popped, which is still a great score. So just go back to spamming down your 0-1-3s. Unfortunately, Blastapopoulos nerfs range down, so it's not really worth it to get the Populous druids. Anyways, we're going to get a 1-4-0 druid down. This guy is just going to be able to help us out with our leaks. You start getting them down at about 30 skulls popped on the boss if you're keeping track. And you can see here, I mean, we just have so much money. You could honestly get in the center island here, maybe 1 or 2 of them up to pop bust, but I would try to avoid getting too many. You could also see in the bottom left, for safety reasons, I got down a 0-2-3 sniper, and this guy can take out camos, and it's on first targeting, and it's just to help out the druid some. The druid will be gaining us back lives, and as you see, also I moved the embrittlement. I got a second one. The first one's still doing the attacking work, and the second embrittlement should be bottom cross path, and that is simply because we're going to be upgrading it to a super brittle who's going to have full uptime anyways. Here things get a little bit dicey, but we managed to afford the Spirit of the Forest, and if you want to, you could have gotten the fully auto rifle first and then gone for Spirit of the Forest a little bit later, just to be extra safe, but I decided against that. Here we sell a couple of druids that are further away, of course because they were not hitting the boss anymore, and we get up the super brittle. We also sold our embrittlement because, again, not needed if you have a super brit, and just back to spamming down druids. I mean, simple as that. They're going to be dealing an absolute ton of damage here, and the Spirit of the Forest is a little bit overkill for the early game defense, but it works out so well, and with the new rework, it makes pretty good amount of money. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. It also generates a bunch of lives, which is good just for safety reasons. And then here, about 50 pops, so we're going to get up a 1-4-0. Please do not get it up to a 2-4-0, as that will fill up the Blastapopoulos purple meter even faster, because the Lasik shock counts as a magic type attack, and the magic type attacks will like instantly fill it up. As you can see here, it already gets filled up like instantly, so it's just better not to fill it up more. At around 55 skulls, you're going to see some of these druids are stopping attacking as they're getting out of range, and about 56 skulls, you're going to want to start selling them off. Just sell off what you can, and by the 57th, you should be able to get up the MAD. Of course, if you did the fully auto rifle stuff earlier, you know, if you were more playing it safe, then you may be a skull or two behind. Just don't worry about that. You're going to get a similar score anyways. But once we get the MAD, this guy's going to deal some extremely good damage. You're going to want to go back to spamming druids down and get an alchemist for your MAD. The alchemist should be a 401 or a 301. It's up to you. I prefer the 401 just because it feels like safer. You know, if I place a tower in range, it's not going to steal it from the MAD. So yeah, I just do that because we have so much money too. It's really fine. After I place down so many druids that it's almost filling up the cap again, I begin to go for a cripple mob because it will effectively like double the amount of damage we're dealing. And then again, I'm selling some of the druids in the back who have stopped hitting Blastapopoulos, and I'm just going to use that money to get the cripple mob up a little bit faster. Make sure your MAD targeting is staying on Blastapopoulos. If you've made it this far into the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and type in code YOBOI, that's YOBOI, into the BTD6 shop. Here I go for another Embrittlement Ice Tower, and that's just because we are going to sell our Super Brittle and get this guy to Super Brittle. Alright, and then again, bottom cross path still gets full uptime and just gets more range, which is nice. Here we're going for Druid of Wraths again. I know, it's really annoying. We pretty much had to fill up half the map just over time slowly with Druid of Wraths, but don't worry, we're almost done with that. Right, once we run out of tower space, I finally get up the Alchemist. You guys could have gotten a higher score by just placing the Alch earlier, as a 17% attack speed buff on the MAD is completely massive. But yeah, just keep on replacing the druids who are no longer attacking with new druids closer to the exit. If you can sell the Cleansing Foam and Balloon Trap. However, Blastapopoulos likes to stun things, so that's oftentimes not possible, so don't really worry about it. What we can do instead is get an ice platform to place more druids, which we do later. But for now, we're going to get an elite defender. It's obviously not nearly as price efficient as the druids, but it's way stronger tower for tower, and we have so much money that we don't care about price efficiency as much. I get down a snowstorm just because the radius is bigger, and I had placed it a little bit too far left, but you guys can avoid that if you want. Really, again, money doesn't matter. Snowstorm ability might help out with defense too, so it's up to you. Now that our tower slots are full and we have so many druids, all of them attacking, we're going to upgrade some of them to Pop List. I wouldn't upgrade quite as many as I did because after you get 5 Pop List stacks, it's pretty useless, but you can upgrade a ton of them pretty much. And then we're just going to go for the Avatar of Wrath once we move the Super Brittle again. Avatar of Wrath, of course, is another extremely powerful upgrade, but it's just not as powerful as Druid spam itself, so that's why we wait pretty much until the end. I mean, tower slots full, we just have so much money, and there's nothing to do with them. Yeah, around here is when it would have been nice to sell the Balloon Trap and Cleansing Foam, but we physically can't. Balloon Ares is stopping us, so don't worry about that, and just go for an embrittlement wherever we can. Here I sell the Farmer in order to get a better placement for it, and again, it's just going to be a 502. You can do 501, actually, that'd be better, but I don't care about the $200 price tag. Call me crazy, but that's not going to make a difference in anyone's runs, especially not this late into the game. But yeah, the embrittlement, of course, will be super helpful, and once we get up the Avatar of Wrath, we've pretty much beaten the entire game. Now, in the 80s here, there's some scarier rounds and probably some RNG to them. I didn't die here, but you can see a bunch of ZMGs, a bunch of DDTs come in from like the left side specifically, and if you're worried about that, You can go for something like a bomb blitz just to be safe, but I'm not worried, so I just go for as many more druids as I can. These are popless just because down here there's no popless buffs and we have so much money, I don't know what to do with it. Every druid had the middle cross path in this video, so that should be pretty simple and easy. And once we're out of druid space, I start going for 204 snipers on first targeting. You can put them on strong if you want. Either way, it's going to be hitting the boss. The boss is about to leak, so it's never going to target something else. And yeah, that's going to be GG. I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment your score, any like tricky spots or improvements you want to let me know for future people, future guides, whatever. But yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.